There is a benefit that a significant number of divorced Americans receiving Social Security have never claimed, and the agency responsible for paying it has no legal obligation to tell you it exists. It is completely free to claim. It takes about 15 minutes. And for the people who actually use it, it adds real money. I have seen people add $247, $310, even $389 or more every single month. Stay with me until the end, because I am going to walk you through exactly how this works. But before we get into exactly how, subscribe right now and hit the bell. The rules around divorced spousal benefits change. When they change, Social Security does not send you a personal explanation. Subscribers find out in time. The ones who are not find out after the deadline, after the form window closes, after the money is already gone. The benefit is called the Divorced Spousal Benefit, and it is part of the Social Security program most people have never been told about. It lives at ssa.gov. It is free to apply for. And if you were married for at least 10 years and have since divorced, it takes about 15 minutes to find out whether you qualify and how much you may be leaving unclaimed right now. Here is why this benefit has the potential to significantly change your monthly income, and I want to explain this carefully, because it is the part almost nobody fully understands. When you were married, your spouse was building a Social Security earnings record. That record became the basis for their retirement benefit. What most people do not know is that your marriage, if it lasted 10 or more years, legally entitles you to receive up to 50% of your ex-spouse's full retirement benefit amount, not a reduced version, not a courtesy payment. 50% of their full benefit as calculated by the Social Security Administration. And here is the critical part. Claiming this benefit does not reduce your ex-spouse's payment by a single dollar. Their check stays exactly the same. You are not taking anything from them. You are claiming a separate benefit that was always legally yours, one that the SA simply never came to your door to offer. According to the Social Security Administration's own published guidelines, a divorced spouse who qualifies and does not claim this benefit loses the full monthly difference between what they are currently receiving on their own record and what they would have received on their ex-spouse's record. For many people, that difference is between $247 and $389 every single month. Let us run that number clearly. If your own benefit is $1, $190 a month, and 50% of your ex-spouse's benefit is $1,529 a month, you are leaving $339 on the table every 30 days. That is $4,068 every year. Over a 20-year retirement, that is $81,360 in income you are legally entitled to and simply never received, not because you did not qualify, but because nobody told you to ask. And here is the part that makes this worse than most people realize. Because Social Security calculates future cost of living adjustments called COLAs on your base benefit amount, the loss does not stay flat. It compounds. Every year the COLA is applied, it is applied to the lower number, which means the gap between what you are receiving and what you could be receiving grows slightly wider every single January. The longer you wait, the more that compounding gap costs you in real dollars for the rest of your life. So this is not just about what you are losing today, it is about what today's inaction costs you in 5 years, in 10 years, in every check you receive from this point forward. The Social Security Administration does not find these situations for you. There is no automatic review, no alert, no letter that arrives saying we noticed you were married for over a decade, here is what you may be entitled to. The data goes in, your benefit gets calculated on your own record, and unless you take action, the gap sits there silently month after month, year after year, while you receive less than the law says you are owed. No review, no alert, no letter. The system is not designed to find you. You have to find it. Who is most likely to be affected by this? Let me name the specific groups, because if you fall into one of these categories, this applies directly to you. Women who left the workforce or worked part-time during their marriage, if you reduced your working hours or stepped out of the workforce entirely to raise children or support a spouse's, your own earnings record may be significantly lower than your ex-spouse's. That gap is exactly where the divorced spousal benefit becomes most valuable. Your sacrifice during the marriage does not have to permanently reduce what you receive in retirement. People divorced in the 1980s or 1990s who never reapplied for benefits. Many people who divorced decades ago set up their Social Security at the time and never revisited it. The rules around divorced spousal benefits existed then, but were far less publicized. If you have been collecting on your own record for years without ever checking whether your ex-spouse's record would pay more, there is a real possibility you have been underpaid for a very long time. People in lower wage industries, retail, caregiving, food service, domestic work, these are jobs that pay consistently, but do not build the highest earnings records. If your career was in one of these fields while your ex-spouse worked in a higher wage profession, the difference between your record and 50% of theirs can be substantial. This is one of the most common unclaimed scenarios the SA's own data reflects. Divorced individuals who remarried and then divorced again, this is one that surprises people. If your first marriage lasted 10 or more years, and your subsequent marriage also ended in divorce, you may be eligible to claim on either ex-spouse's record, whichever produces the higher benefit. Most people in this situation have no idea that both marriages may be relevant to what they can legally receive. People who divorced near or just after the 10-year mark, if your marriage ended at 9 years and 11 months, unfortunately, the eligibility threshold is strict. But if you are unsure of the exact duration, and many people are, it is worth verifying the actual dates against your marriage certificate, because small miscalculations have caused people to assume they do not qualify when they actually do. Adults approaching retirement who have not yet filed, if you are between 62 and 66 and have not yet claimed Social Security, you are in the best possible position to make this decision correctly from the start. Filing on the wrong record at 62 locks in a reduced amount. Knowing your options before you file is the single most important step you can take right now. Here is a real example of what this looks like. A woman who worked as a medical receptionist throughout the 1980s and early 1990s was married for 14 years before divorcing. She retired at 64 and began collecting Social Security on her own earnings record, receiving $143 a month. She assumed that was what she qualified for, filed once, and moved on. 7 years later, a friend mentioned the divorced spousal benefit in passing during a conversation. She had never heard of it. She called the SA, went through the process, and discovered that 50% of her ex-husband's benefit he had worked as an engineer came to $1,487 a month. Her monthly check increased by $344 every single month for the rest of her life. She told the representative she wished someone had told her when she first filed. The representative's answer was straightforward. It was her responsibility to ask. The SA does not reach out. They had no idea that $344 a month was sitting there unclaimed until she made one phone call, 7 years too late to recover what she had already left behind, but not too late to change every check going forward. So here is exactly what to do. Step 1, go to ssa.gov/benefits/retirement/planner/applying7.html. This is the SA's official page for spousal benefit information. You can also go directly to ssa.gov and search divorced spouse benefits. Do not use third-party sites. Go directly to the source. Step 2, confirm your marriage duration using your marriage certificate. The 10-year requirement is calculated from your legal marriage date to your legal divorce date. Pull your actual documents, not your best guess. A difference of even a few weeks has affected eligibility determinations. Step 3, request your own Social Security statement. Log in or create an account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Your statement shows your projected benefit based on your own earnings record. Write that number down. This is your baseline for comparison. Step 4, ask the SA to calculate 50% of your ex-spouse's full retirement benefit. You can do this by calling 1-800-772-2113. You will need your ex-spouse's Social Security number if possible, but even without it, the SA can often locate the record using their name and date of birth. Request the comparison in writing. Step 5, if the divorced spousal benefit is higher, file Form SSA-2. This is the official application for wife's or husband's insurance benefits, which covers divorced spouses. You can file online, by phone, or in person at your local SA office. Do not file on your own record first and assume you can switch later without a penalty. Ask the representative explicitly about your filing strategy before submitting anything. Step 6. Confirm your application in writing and request a receipt. After filing, ask for written confirmation of your application date. Your benefit may be backdated to your application date, not to when you first became eligible, so do not delay once you have confirmed you qualify. Here is something most people do not know. The SA can pull earnings records going back decades at no cost to you, specifically for the purpose of benefit calculations. Even if your ex-spouse has passed away, the divorced spousal benefit, or the divorce survivor benefit, may still apply. So even if you do not have old paperwork, that option is available to you. Most people spend more time comparing prices on a streaming subscription than they have ever spent reviewing the Social Security record that determines their income for the rest of their lives. That is not a criticism. Nobody taught us to do this. The system was not built to make it easy, but the information is there, the benefit is real, and the process is free. And every month that passes without checking, the gap does not close on its own. It stays exactly where it is quietly, invisibly costing you money you were legally entitled to from the moment your 10-year anniversary passed. This is worth 15 minutes of your time. Go to Dove, log into your account, note your current projected benefit, call 1-800-772-2013, ask them to compare it against 50% of your ex-spouse's record, and if the number is higher, file Form SA2. That is the whole thing. One comparison, one form, one phone call that could change every single check for the rest of your life. Subscribe. Share this with someone you know who is divorced and on Social Security or approaching retirement. The 15 minutes they spend today could change every single check for the rest of their life.